up, everybody? This is your girl, Miss Terrell. Thank you for stopping by Esteemed Queen Mentality. Be sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below so that way you get to know when we are doing our tea talks. So, no one ever told me that when you graduate college, like, it's busy. It's busy for Monday. I think it's Monday. I don't know. I think it's Monday. Anyhow, be sure that you head over to esteemedmentality.com, see what's going on, see what's popping, and let us know if there's something that you want to talk about. So, real life story I want to tea talk about today. You know, I always try to say, and I try to reiterate, and I definitely try to keep it in my frontal cortex, being in the front of my brain as a focus, that a lot of what we reap comes from what we sow. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like corn. You know what I'm saying? For folks that are kind of like not on the biblical tip of it, you know, just like corn. You gotta plant it when the ground isn't so cold anymore. And there's two different times that you can plant it. And then there's going to be two different seasons that you can reap your benefits. Well, just like there's two decisions, you know, one, you either going to get the bad end, or the other, you're going to be able to eat whatever it is that you put down in the grass to be fertilized, soiled, and grown to be fruitful for you down the line. Let's put it like this. We all have those parents, right, that used to beat it into us, hopefully. You know, education is important, and without education, it's very hard for you to really sit there and say that you can afford not to deal with something or somebody. One of the wisest things someone told me was, when you're able to be self-sufficient and do for yourself, then it puts you into a caliber where, yeah, you can afford not to look at someone that stresses you out. You can afford to be like, you know what, I don't have to take your BS. I don't think on that level. So bam, boom, regardless if you here or not, I'm straight. I want to talk about a couple of different things that, like, I really didn't pay attention to until, like, this weekend or late last week. So first thing is first, you really, when it comes down to, you know, sowing your seeds and then, like, you know, reaping your harvest, I'm going to put it to you like this. Chapstick. It's very interesting, okay? So check this out. When I was growing up, right, when I had the first part of my childhood, I remember both of my parents being there, right? They were married, together, etc. And so when my parents decided to go their separate ways, now that I'm older, I don't know what made me think of this, but it hit me right in my throat. But it really made me stop and, like, take a look around and realize stuff. So anyway, I took into consideration, again, when my parents were together, they were together, like, my mom didn't have to worry for shit. My brother didn't have to ask for shit. Me being, you know, a daddy's girl, like, I definitely didn't have to really, like, ask for, like, anything. My dad's number one thing is good grades. Good grades, good grades, good grades. So really, I just be like, you know, I see something I like, or my dad knew me, you know what I'm saying? Like, he knows me. So he was like, oh, I ain't crying, y'all. It's just, I just got out of that sun. I'm trying to let my edges and my perimeter kind of like cool down. Let that eco gel do what it needs to do. But a heifer is sweating. Anyhow, so he was just like really big on grades. Like, he knew me. Like, I like the simple things in life. So when he saw me looking at something like extra hard, he knew that was something that I wanted. And with me knowing what it was that he required, I didn't have to say anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dad was on the shit. Like, I know when your report cards come. I know when they have to mail the last one out. And I know when I'm supposed to expect it. So, needless to say, all of that has its perks, okay? All of that has its perks. So anyhow, we're going to fast forward to when my parents separated. I definitely can tell the difference in time invested when I look back now on when my parents were together and were not together. And I noticed that, you know, people out here are really quick to say, don't be calling him a king. Kings don't, you know, kings take care of their children, and kings do this and kings do that. I completely respect where you're coming from. I do. I accept where you're coming from. But coming from a family that at least my father was there, whether it was long distance, regardless if it was like, you know, psychopathically, you know what I'm saying? Like financially, I can honestly give it to you. Like my dad's been like 10 toes down for me. You know, like when my parents split, I could tell who put forth the investment to make sure that their children were like seen and felt to be their number one priority. Like my dad was the one that helped me with sports. He got me into sports. He was the one that taught me how to study. He taught me how to not let certain things and like disabilities and certain things like that make me feel as if like a shortcoming is just as equivalent to an achievement. You know, they're not, no, they still both need to take work. So he pushed me even when he wasn't there. Like he pushed me, you know what I'm saying? Like his militant presence, he pushed me. And you have a traditional way of learning things. You have a non-traditional way of learning things. I learned both. I learned both ways. So that was one thing. So fast forwarding until now where I'm at, you know, I'm thankful. It's crazy because literally I put myself through like all years of college. But even then it's kind of just like I still had to have that push, something in me wanting to push to be able to see if I could really do it. Another scenario is I actually went for a bike ride this morning, right? And when I went for this bike ride, I found myself smiling because I have more than one mode of transportation. So like I'm able to ride my bike out of pleasure and desire, not out of necessity, even though like it's not wrong with it, but just hear me out. Okay. So, I found myself to be in a position where like everyone that I passed, like we spoke, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like it was nice. I didn't have nobody honking at me. None of that. It was just like peace. And it's just like, damn. Work my ass off. I work my ass off. And like all you hear is birds and people mowing their lawn, and you just seeing the UPS truck willingly stopping and knocking on people's doors, waiting for them to open their door to get their packages. I live in that type of neighborhood now. The year before, I literally did everything sitting on the floor because literally 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, you're going to see my neighborhood on the news. Drive by, something happened. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that was on my list, I've received, and I'm so grateful and I'm so humble. And I'm not saying all this to glow. I'm not saying all this to boast. My third example I want to give you. Today is, I think, the 4th. A good friend of mine from the old neighborhood that I used to live in to be able to help me level up. I think he would have been in his like mid-20s or something like that today. But the moral of the story is, a year ago, he got caught up. And remember what I say, you know, you are responsible for your decisions. You are. And so he got caught up, and guess where he's spending his birthday? They get 3 meals a day, 1 hour of sunlight. Damn sure ain't outside. Now, mind you, when he first got caught up, I was still in school. This dude was helping me with my psychology homework. Made straight B pluses all the way through with his help. Mind you, he wanted to go to school to be a veterinarian. But guess what? the mind was not protected and guarded like it was Obama in the White House. So this brings me to this point of saying, oh, excuse me, my fourth example. Okay, like I said, growing up, my father and I had a way stronger relationship, like an actual existing one. Whereas my mom, everyone thinks, again, let me go back to it. They think, oh, the men are always the ones that be like dropping off babies like they layoffs at jobs. But let me tell you something. Let me give you a realization out here. A lot of y'all queens, I'm going to help bring you to reality. You may unsubscribe. That is fine. I will gain back what I lose tenfold. I do not care. But there's a lot of deadbeat ass women out there that are just dropping their kids off like motherfucking bills in the post office box and then going by their business acting as if like they never were born. Like on some losing Isaiah shit. There's some folks out here that are trying to really be on the queen level, but they with that peasant shit. You got to understand what you put your time into. Whatever you decide to put out there and sow as a seed, you will reap in due season. So for me to have to sit on the floor and listen to the gunshots, for me to have to go to the worst school, like high schools, graduating early, making sure that even though I already knew in life what I did not want, I knew very well also what I wanted to go after. And I didn't care if I had to dog walk motherfuckers to the finish line, the milestone line, what. But you know what? I didn't let nobody tell me that I was not strong enough. When you know how strong you are, let me tell you how many chains you can break. You can break the generational curses. You can break that thought in your head that your mom, your dad, someone that's supposed to be protecting you, telling you that you can't do it, you can't make it, you're not from much, you're not going to be much. Fuck them. One thing that I have learned along this way, along this road, you ain't always going to be at a pit stop, a checkpoint, or a milestone little water break area with everybody you started with. Some of them are to teach you a lesson, but you're supposed to drop them off somewhere. It don't matter how they land. That's on them, depending on how they treat you. But as far as them being something of value as you go on trying to make a name for yourself, being able to make sure you have accolades that you're proud of, legacy, children or not, but you hold yourself to a queen and king standard. That's part of the mindset, is breaking the chains. And if you can break the chains, regardless if you can see them or not, because believe it or not, we all have shackles on us and we can't see them. The only reason why we can't see them is because if they put them on us in modern day shit, they'll probably put them shits on us at our job. They'll put them shits on us at school. They already got them shits on us at work. So no, they're not going to go all the way there. But you know what? If your mind is in captivity, you might as well just go ahead and say everything else about you is in captivity. You got to understand cell phones. Cell phones are exactly what they sound like. The phone puts you in a cell mindset where when it's time for you to think further than your husband tapping on somebody's picture and you fussing at them, check your man first. Check your man first. And if you can't check your man first, check his history. Check his history. There's a little spot on your little computer and on your cell phone. It's called settings. Hell, if you want to go the cheap route, hit that browser, hit that little link up in the corner, the little icon that says history, scroll that bitch. But other than that, look, let me tell you something. Sometimes when it comes down to breaking chains, you got to break relationships with people too. You got to break relationships with habits. You got to break relationships with what you thought was what you knew, just to find out when you let something else into your brain and absorb it, that pushes the old shit out for you to have new shit in it. You feel me? In order to break the chains, you got to believe in you first and foremost. Look, I'm going to say it like this. Sometimes the best love is no love. You feel me? Understand, like, I literally went 18, 19 years without both of my parents and siblings. I'm the only girl. So I'm not saying this off the rip just to be out here like half these YouTubers. Some of these YouTubers, they trip me out, because instead of saying like, yo, let's break the chains, sis. Let's break the chains, bruh, and be on our own shit. Because when we have education, regardless if it's a certificate, regardless if it's a diploma, regardless if it's a damn GED, there's so many entrepreneurs and millionaires with those statuses. It's education. So I don't want to hear it. Beyonce she dropped out of school at 14. That's a freshman year. She dropped out her 8th grade year. So don't give me that. You feel me? Like, you got to believe in yourself at all costs. Like, that shit is your respirator. That shit is like ICU. In order for you to get out of ICU, you got to be healthy enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, strengthen your mindset, strengthen your mind frame. And that's the one thing that, of course, when you on the right track, that's going to irritate people. But you irritating people because you making some different changes and you just being a straight up game changer. Again, let me go back to my level on that video. You just changing the damn game, boo. That's it. So act like you know. You know what I'm saying? The room got 4 walls. You need 4 prayers. Because that's how many different ways the devil's going to come at you when it's time for you to put your 10 toes down and to stick out what it is that you say you was going to do. Regardless if you feel as if like down the road you want to give up or not. The beginning of being able to feel as if like you have the strength no matter what you go through is for you to have prayer. And when I was in college, I had to learn, not the hard way, but I had to learn just the way of however it is that you're able to raise yourself, and you learn and you pay attention to signs and flags and lessons. Like, yo, if you don't stay prayed up, the enemy can come at any given direction. Any given direction. And let me tell you something that I also learned is that a lot of folks that sit around here looking for prey, I tell you, they look for feeble-minded individuals. The word talks about them, and they sit in places where they see your vulnerability clear as day, but yet they'll sit right there as if like they're sheeps, and they'll get to know you to a point where getting to know where you're weak becomes a sickness mentally for them, because they trying you. So watch your back in churches, wherever the hell you go. But let me tell you, churches, that is the number one spot where they sit and they lurk. Shit, that's probably why I don't go as much as I used to. I have my churches at home. The Lord always loves it when you're able to do it by yourself without folks looking at you. That's when the best blessings come. But in order for you to break those chains, for the Lord to give you what you need, you got to break free of your own understanding. Because it's just that your understanding what it is that you need to know to get over the top of whatever mountain and see what you want to see on the other side. But can't nobody do it for you but you. So again, understand, cleanse your energy first and foremost, and be confident in yourself. You need to pray. You got 4 walls, you need 4 prayers. Because no matter what side the enemy come at, you ready. Okay? Head over to our warrior community. We are in deep talk about this first book for our Tea Talk book club. And I would love for you all to be a part of it. By all means, hit that notification bell, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.
The depths of the media sees no evil. Buildings crashing 9/11, no sake for the people. Children take to everything. Others willing to feel anything just to say they were there. Boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, domestic violence. Do you care? When the curtains close, your head hangs low. You're wishing someone was there. Just turn to me for relief. I know how you feel. I am you. You are me. We share symptoms of the black sheep. Aren't you aware?
This image, I remember howling winds, nights trying to hustle to 10 degrees, ash on my knuckles. Coke in my long john, sipping on the brisk. A tall glass, a nigga, quicker, please, who get a sip of this? Coke in my long john, slave to the sin. Call me young coke there if the cops try to frisk. I may get a grip, I may get a grip. I may slap between these lobster tails and some shrimp. I used to bump Wayne all day as a pimp, now I'm past Wayne Drake and going in.